Special thanks to Tokyo Treat and Sakurako for sponsoring today's video. Before we get started, there will be spoilers for the 1000-year Blood War arc of Bleach in the video to come. The Gotei 13 has changed quite a lot by the time we reach the Hell arc. The 1000-year Blood War arc took a massive toll on the Shinigami, decimating the Seirete and their forces and transforming the Gotei as we knew it. Considering they managed to make it through the war with Aizen almost completely unscathed, it was a pretty big deal seeing just how much loss they suffered in the battle with the Quincy's. The Gotei 13, and by extension the Soul Society itself, was changed so dramatically by the war that an enormous white structure was built upon the decimated Sokyoku Hill to commemorate the battle, reflecting a new age for the Shinigami. But as we move into the Hell chapter and hopefully one day beyond, who makes up the current day Gotei 13? After all, there were quite a few personnel changes in the wake of the war. In this video, we're going to take a look at each division of the Gotei 13 individually to see what the current era of the Soul Society looks like as found in the Hell chapter. What personnel changes have there been, both as a result of the Great Soul King War and in the years after. Kickstarting things off, of course, is the First Division, which changed forever in the 1000-year Blood War arc. The First Division, which once represented the history and traditions of the Soul Society and the Gotei themselves, was specifically targeted by the Vandenreich and completely annihilated during the war with the Quincy's. With both Captain Commander Yamamoto Genryusai and his lifelong Vice Captain Chojiro Sasakibe killed in battle, the First Division was left totally leaderless. By appointment of the Central 46, Kyoraku Shunsui, at the time the captain of the 8th Division, was made the Captain Commander, succeeding his father figure as the captain of the 1st Division. Not only did Kyoraku keep Nanao Issei as his vice captain, but he also appointed a second vice captain as well, defying not only the Central 46, but also the long-established tradition of the Gotei 13, a true sign of things to come for this division's future. Kyoraku's second vice-captain is Genshiro Okikiba, formerly the 3rd seat of the squad. The reason for 2 vice-captains, though, is remarkably simple. According to Kyoraku, Okikiba already knows and understands the workings of Squad 1, while Nanao knows how to work with Kyoraku himself. A Herculean task, I imagine. As of the Hell chapter, then, this remains the current roster of the 1st Division. Despite sharing the position of vice-captain, however, Nanao seems to have maybe more control overall, instructing Okikiba to stay behind as she left for Karakura Town to help conduct Ukitake's Konso Reisai ceremony. Moving on, the 2nd Division's leadership was essentially completely unaffected by the war with the Quincy's. Despite suffering serious injuries throughout, both Captain Soifon and Vice-Captain Morechio Omaida are still occupying their same positions. As of the Hell chapter, Soifon now wears a brand new, perhaps bespoke style of Hayori. 2 fasteners can be seen on either side of the chest near the shoulders, clearly designed to allow the Hayori to split apart when Soifon activates Shunko to avoid it being destroyed. This is a really nice little detail, a lovely subtle piece of world building right there woven into the uniform, and I appreciate it a lot. Meanwhile, Omaida has become more extravagant than ever, now donning a flamboyant popped collar while reams of gold necklaces dangle upon his chest. The 3rd Division suffered greatly during the Blood War, with both its captain Rojuro Rose Otoribashi and its vice-captain Izuru Kira receiving fatal wounds. Not only that, but the 3rd Division's upper leadership was almost totally wiped out during the first invasion, with the 3rd, 5th and 6th seat all being killed in quick succession. Rose was blasted by Sternritter S Masked Masculine with a star-shaped laser right through the torso before being killed by Sternritter V Gremi Thermo's imagination powers. Later zombified and then resurrected by Mayuri, Rose remains the captain of the 3rd Division by the time of the Hell arc. Like Soifon, his outfit has changed between the final chapters of the 1000-year Blood War and the Hell chapter. Rose now wears a tiny, almost jacket-sized Hayori, similar to that of Kurinji Tenjiro, and a frilled cravat. Honestly, I'm still not sold on this design, especially since I think he looked really awesome in the 1000-Year Blood War, but we'll see. Meanwhile, his vice captain Izuru was shot by sternritter H. Basby's Burner Finger 1 during the first invasion, ripping a hole in his chest and taking off his arm in a single blast. Long thought to have died in battle, it's revealed that Izuru is in fact rescued from the brink of death by Mayuri after the first invasion, his body restored in a strangely rudimentary way, leaving an enormous gaping hole in his chest. Now considering himself little more than a dead man, Izuru returns at the tail end of the war with the Quincy's. As of the Hell chapter, Izuru remains the 3rd Division's vice captain, but now sports his coolest look yet. Izuru has really leaned into his depressing, edgy persona and now wears a sinister purple hood alongside his uniform, giving him the appearance of a grim executioner. Next up is the 4th Division, the medical squad of the Gotei 13. The 4th Division was left in disarray during the 1000-Year Blood War arc when its captain Retsu Unohana was killed by Kenpachi Zaraki as part of his training to learn his Zanpakuto's name. As a result, throughout the war, the 4th Division had no captain at all, but its vice captain Isane Kotetsu stepped up to the plate and led the Shinigami's medical forces as part of the war effort. Once the war was over, Isane was given a well-deserved promotion, becoming the new captain of the 4th Division. As of the Hell arc, the 4th Division's new vice-captain is Kiyone Kotetsu, Isane's little sister and the former 3rd seat of the 13th Division. I wonder if Kiyone was transferred at her own request or at Isane's. Presumably Kiyone has some medical knowledge, but we don't really know a lot about her. Interestingly, she and her former partner in the 13th Division, Sentaro Kotsubaki, used to worship former captain Jushiro Ukitake. Clearly, Kiyone doesn't have quite such strong feelings about the division's current captain, though I'm pretty sure she still likes and respects her. Kiyone seems to be the kind of person Isane needs by her side, however, and maybe she saw that upon her sister's promotion, as the new 4th Division captain isn't yet assertive enough by herself for people to truly take her seriously in her new role. Meanwhile, as for the rest of the division, Hanataro received a pretty massive promotion as a result of his efforts in the 1000-Year Blood War arc, being moved from the 7th seat all the way up to the 3rd seat, which he now shares with Yasuchika Iemura. Like the 2nd Division, the 5th Division doesn't have any real changes to its personnel by the time we reach the Hell chapter, despite its captain suffering several losses and major injuries during the war with the Quincy. Their captain is still the former leader of the Vizard, Shinji Hirako, now sporting as of the Hell chapter an extremely uneven fringe, and his vice-captain is Hinamori Momo, the two having forged a strong bond in the wake of the traitorous Sosuke Aizen's defeat and later imprisonment. Hinamori also has a new hairstyle now as of the end of the war, and seems more clued into the day-to-day duties of running a division than Shinji, who is incredibly laid back by comparison. And you know, the same is true of the 6th Division as well. And like the 2nd Division, this is one of only a few squads whose personnel, I think, never changes throughout the entire present-day story of Bleach. So from the start of the Soul Society arc to the end of the Hell chapter. The captain is still Byakuya Kuchiki, who now sports a blue-collared Hayori, which matches the official colour of the division itself, and has returned to wearing the full set of Kenseikan in his hair. Early in the war, it looked as though the 6th Division would lose its stalwart captain after he was brutally attacked with his own bankai and nearly killed by sternritter F. Asnod during the first invasion, but Byakuya was restored by the 0 Division and returned more powerful than ever. Meanwhile, his vice-captain remains Renji Abarai, whose once unruly hair has now been styled into a firm braid. Like his captain, Renji was also trained by the Zero Division, making the 6th Division now one of, if not the most powerful division overall by the time of the Hell arc. Of course, as of the Hell chapter, Renji is now married to the captain of the 13th Division, Rukia Kuchiki. And actually, now that I think about it, I can't remember if Renji was actually the vice captain yet as of the Agent of the Shinigami arc, because I'm pretty sure there is an extra supplementary chapter that shows him receiving his badge for the first time, and considering we never see the previous vice captain of the 6th Division, we only ever see Renji paired with Byakuya, I think it can still count either way. Before we look at the second set of divisions, first a message from the sponsor of today's video. Akimashite omedetou! It's 2024, and what better way to kickstart the new year than with some lovely Japanese snacks courtesy of today's sponsor, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. My snacking cohort, Mrs. Tomo, and I are going to take a look at these together again at last after my solo venture last month, and let you know how you too can experience a piece of Japan from your own home. Now, while both Tokyo Treat and Sakurako contain an assortment of delicious snacks and Japanese-inspired treats, they are not the same, but they are both celebrating the new year in their own special way. Tokyo Treat, to start with, is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box that includes up to 20 of the latest limited edition and seasonal snacks, and this month's Tokyo Treat theme is New Year Snackin' Party. Japan has a lot of New Year's traditions, and Japan's famous lucky bags play a big role this time round, with some snacks including lucky red and white Kit Kats and good luck taiyaki. So we're going to start with the Good Luck Taiyaki that I just mentioned in the intro. According to the booklet, apparently this has a chocolatey centre, and as I mentioned in last month's video, chocolate is one of my absolute favourite things, so I'm glad this is one of the ones we're trying.
You ain't lying.
But it does smell very chocolatey. Immediately, that's what I'm getting.
On a little platter.
We always seem to pick the things that are going to be very flaky,
Really
so
messy.
I think I'm just going to bite straight into this guy.
Go on
Yeah,
then.
let's give it a try. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Very, very chocolatey.
Okay guys, so you might notice that Tom took one very elegant bite out of this, and now the fish is
The entire
completely
tail's gone.
destroyed, because I've tried to eat this about 4 or 5 times on camera, and it's not easy to eat on camera, I'm not gonna lie.
Next up, we're going to try the Kit Kats. Now, you get a Kit Kat every month with Tokyo Treat, and they're always like these really unique and interesting flavours, because you don't get anything like that here in the UK.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this month's one, because it's actually white chocolate, which I think it might not be the first we've had this white chocolate. We had like a similar one, it was like a lemon one in the summer at some point.
That's right, yeah.
It's going to be hard to share these around the office as usual.
Yeah, you take them into work, don't you? Yeah, yeah.
The
People are big
office,
fans.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's looking like white chocolate. Oh, it's looking like a mix.
It's mixed. It's white chocolate and milk
Very nice.
chocolate.
Give it the old split. Nice.
There we go.
That was a nice break. That was a nice, satisfying break.
I just went ahead, sorry. As
Very
anticipated.
lovely, yep.
Probably one of my top 3 Kit Kat flavours. The Tokyo Treat have sent us. Meanwhile, Sakurako is a monthly authentic Japanese snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box contains 20 traditional artisan Japanese snacks, as well as authentic Japanese tea and special Japanese tableware. This month, we have something a little different from usual. We have furoshiki, otherwise known as traditional Japanese wrapping cloths. This time decorated with lucky cats. It's so cute, they're very charming, very pretty, and even washing machine safe, which, according to Tom, is always a plus. So the theme of this month's box, as you can see from the stunning cover of the Sakurako booklet, is New Year's in Hiroshima, a breathtaking celebration that warms the soul. Some of the treats this time include these beautiful omikuji candy, setuchi lemon mochi, and some New Year's senbei wrapped in a special 2024 packet featuring the Year of the Dragon.
I've got to say, the Sakurako box this time is really quite special looking. Everything in there looks genuinely kind of
Oh my
stunning.
god, I know, like we can't eat all this on camera, but I just want to show some of them.
This is a work of art.
That is actually beautiful.
Yeah. Today we'll be eating the banana Baumkuchen.
Baumkuchen.
You
I
took
think.
German, yeah, I was going to say.
It
you
sounds
know how to
German.
pronounce
I
that.
don't know. Baumkuchen sounds German. It might not be.
The viewers will note that from my many Quincy pronunciations, I did not take German. Oh,
You
wow.
know what this reminds me of?
I mean, it kind of looks like the inside of a tree.
This is not what I don't know what I was expecting.
It smells
but
very banana.
This is.
Banana-y.
It looks like. Do you remember those bubblegum
Yeah.
roll-ups?
Yeah, winders.
We like the winders. Yeah, where you.
It looks like the inside of a tree.
Here you go. Oh,
Look at that. Oh, it's dense, weighty.
dense and weighty.
Mmm. And yet, fluffy. And then finally, we're going to be looking at the Satoshi Lemon Mochi. I do love lemon flavour, so I'm expecting to like this a lot. Let's give it a try. And I like mochi as well, so.
Fruity mochi is my absolute favourite.
The texture of mochi is so weird, but it's cool.
It's the best. I love it. It's like sweets, but they're not as bad for you, are they?
I don't know. No. And of course, as mentioned earlier, no matter which box you choose, each one comes with a detailed booklet that tells you everything you need to know, not just about the snacks inside, but also about the theme of the month as well. Something I love about Tokyo Treat and Sakurako is the amount of care that they put into each box. The individual themes really shine through. Just look how stunning this Sakurako box is once again.
Look at the shine.
But that's it for January's New Year boxes. As always, I want to say a big thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakurako for supporting the channel by sponsoring today's video. If you want to treat yourself to a box as a wonderful way to start 2024, make sure to follow the links down in the description and the pinned comment and use my code for $5 off of your purchase. Thanks everyone, and enjoy. Okay, returning to the Gotei 13 as they appear in the Hell Arc, the 7th Division suffers heavy losses during the war with the Quincy's. After embarking on a mission of revenge to destroy Yūharbak and avenge Yamamoto's death, Captain Sajin Komamura rips out his own heart to attain immense power and defeats sternritter E. Bambietta Bastabine. However, the cost of the humanification technique is great. Komamura transforms into a beast, unable to even wield a blade anymore. For the remainder of the war, the 7th Division effectively has no official captain, though Komamura and his vice-captain Tetsuzaimon Iba continue to patrol the battlefield. By the time the war is over, however, Iba is promoted to the position of captain in Komamura's place, despite not believing he's worthy of the title. Iba has leaned heavily into his masculine macho persona as captain, now sporting a pompadour hairstyle stereotypically associated with Yakuza and gang members. In the Hell chapter, we meet the 7th Division's brand new vice-captain, Atao Rindo. Atao is a mute Shinigami who prefers to spend time with the surrounding wildlife instead of other people, seemingly adept at forging peaceful relationships with animals. Despite this, Atao appears to be quite popular with the ladies, as we can see a group of them swooning when Iba asks for Atao's whereabouts. Atao is later seen battling the Hell Hollows and his Zanpakuto is revealed. Fascinatingly, his Zanpakuto doesn't appear to have a set name. Instead, he writes his Zanpakuto's release command upon its blade before choosing the name of a particular animal, and his Zanpakuto, which while in Shikai takes the form of a whip made up of talismans, will take the form of said creature in battle. Honestly, Atao is a really unique and interesting new character, and I can't wait to see more of him. As a result of Kyoraku being promoted to the position of Captain Commander, the 8th Division subsequently is left completely leaderless during the remainder of the war with the Quincy, which does feel a little irresponsible thinking about it. It's not really Kyoraku's fault, though I suppose he could have left Nanao there in charge. I certainly wouldn't like to suddenly be those officers who don't have anyone in charge whatsoever. However, as of the end of the war, another Vizard has returned from Karakura Town to their former post. Lisa Yadamaru, formerly the vice-captain of the 8th Division over 100 years ago, is now the captain. In the Hell chapter, we learn that Lisa's new vice-captain is Yu Yayahara, a young girl obsessed with Gyaru culture from the world of the living. Yu is considerably more modern than most Shinigami, snapping selfies and trying to add Ichigo as a friend on social media. In battle, Yu doesn't use a Zanpakuto, or at least it doesn't seem like it anyway. Instead, by forming a fanged mouth with her fingernails, Yu is able to conjure the likeness of a massive bear behind her, with which she's capable of easily biting off chunks of Hell Hollows. Lisa's fashion choices as well seem to have spilled over into the rest of the division, with both her and Yu wearing miniskirts and modern clothing. Like a few of the divisions before it, the 9th Division is totally unchanged by the time we reach the Hell Arc. Despite the major losses suffered by its upper leadership, they somehow make it out of the war mostly intact. Like Rose, captain of the 9th Division Kensei Mugaruma is brutalised by Masked Masculine, having his arm snapped before being pummeled into unconsciousness. He's then killed by Gremi before being zombified and later resurrected by Mayuri, able now to continue with his captain duties. Meanwhile, his vice-captain Shuhei Hisagi also takes a real beating throughout the war, first being pulverized by sternritter O. Driscoll Bursey, then wiped out by Masked Masculine, eventually controlled by sternritter L. Pepe Wackabrada, before finally being sniped by sternritter X. Leal Barrow. And even after all of that, Hisagi makes it through to continue being the vice captain of the 9th Division by the start of the Hell chapter. Honestly, with the way Kubo's treating this guy, and with the way it looks as though he's still treating him as of the Hell chapter as nothing more than a kind of comedic device, a bit of a joke these days, I'm surprised he even wants the role anymore. Like the 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 9th divisions before it, the 10th division is really the last one on this list that doesn't see any major changes to it, and like the 2nd and 6th previously, is one of the rare divisions where the modern day personnel hasn't seen a single change since the start of the story itself. Despite being zombified by sternritter Z. Giselle Jewel, captain of the 10th division Toshiro Hitsugaya is revived by Mayuri and able to continue having an active role in the war. By the end of the war, Hitsugaya has decided to stop wearing his scarf and instead returned to a look overall similar to that of his pre-timeskip appearance. Meanwhile, his vice-captain is still Rangiku Matsumoto, who also has a tough time of it during the war. Matsumoto is viciously killed by sternritter I. Kangdo before being zombified and later resurrected thanks to Mayuri once again, and is able to continue being the 10th Division's vice-captain even now in the Hell arc. And much like her captain, Rangiku seems to have returned to a design overall more reminiscent of her look before the timeskip. Now we come to the 11th Division, which has seen quite a bit of change in recent years. After the captain, Kenpachi Zaraki, finally learns the name of his Zanpakuto, Nozarashi, his vice-captain, Yachiru Kusajishi, vanishes, leaving behind only her Shinigami uniform. The truth, if you've seen my latest short you'll know, is that Yachiru is in fact the spirit of Kenpachi's unnamed bankai, and once he unlocks the true power of his Zanpakuto, she returns to his inner world. And so the 11th Division doesn't have a vice-captain for the second half of the Quincy War. However, by the end of the war, moving into the Hell chapter and beyond, the former 3rd seat of the 11th Division, Madarame Ikaku, is promoted to the position of vice-captain, taking Yachiru's place. I wonder if Kenpachi ever explained to the rest of them, or certainly the upper leadership at least, what actually happened to Yachiru. That would have been a really interesting conversation, to say at least. As well as that, the former 5th seat of the division, Yumichika Ayasagawa, is promoted to the position of 3rd seat, taking over from Ikaku and finally attaining the number he always wanted, believing 3 to be the most beautiful number of them all. The 12th division is heavily involved in the war against the Quincy's, taking up the role of frontline commanders, operating out of their headquarters in Mayuri's Laboratory of Light. As you've probably noticed throughout this video, the Gotei 13 would look considerably different if Mayuri hadn't been around for the war. Half of the Shinigami on here owe their lives to Mayuri rescuing them in some form or another. While Mayuri himself is seriously wounded in battle against Sternritter C. Pernida Pankajaz, he ultimately survives and continues on as the captain of the 12th Division in the Hell arc. However, his vice-captain Nemu Kurotsuchi is killed by Pernida, her entire body pulled apart by the Schutzstaffel. Luckily for Mayuri, he's able to rescue Nemu's brain and later uses it to create a brand new Shinigami, Nemuri Hachigo, currently a child by the time of the Hell chapter and presumably just an unseated officer in the division. So then who takes Nemu's place now the position is vacant? Well, the former 3rd seat of the 12th Division, Akon, is promoted to vice-captain as of the end of the war, fully embracing the role's duties by the time of the Hell arc, even no longer wearing his research gown when out of the lab. Akon fully deserves his promotion after his role in the 1000-Year Blood War arc, and as something of an Akon fan, I'm excited to see more from him in his new role. While we don't see his Zanpakuto in action just yet, Akon battles the Hell Hollows using using unusual techniques, including releasing acid from a small cylindrical container. And finally, the 13th Division has always had quite a tumultuous time of it, and that is no different here either, though I'm kind of hoping the 13th Division is entering a period of some stability. The division had, of course, famously been without a vice captain for a very long time, until Rukia Kuchiki was finally promoted after the battle with Aizen. However, in the Thousand Year Blood War arc, the former captain of the 13th Division, Jushiro Ukitake, undergoes the ritual of Kamikake in response to Yhwach reaching the royal palace. Designed to defend the world if the Soul King is killed, the Kamikake enables the Soul King's right arm, Mimihagi, to take over Ukitake's body and effectively use him as an anchor to stabilize and protect all three worlds from destruction. With the Soul King's death, Ukitake enacts Kamikake and is killed as a result. And so, by the end of the war, Rukia has been promoted to the position of captain of the 13th Division, filling the void that Ukitake suddenly left. While she initially looks flustered and maybe even a little out of her depth during her promotion ceremony, by the Hell chapter, Rukia seems to have found her footing in the role, plus has a brand new look to boot. Meanwhile, the empty vice captain position has now been filled by Sentaro Kotsubaki, who was originally the joint third seat of the division along with Kiyone Kotetsu. So now the original duo of the 13th Division has been split up, with Kiyone going to the 4th Division while Sentaro was promoted. Interestingly, Kubo introduces two brand new vice captain characters in the Hell chapter, Atao and Yu, and makes sure to show some of what they can do, including even revealing Atao Shikai. Yet we've known Kiyone and Sentaro for years and still have no idea what they can do, even with their newfound positions. And so that's the current state of the Gotei 13 by the time of the Hell arc. I thought we were overdue something of a roll call and decided to collate everyone's newfound positions into one handy video. As you can see, a lot has changed, and the Thousand Year Blood War arc really did a number on the Shinigami. How do you feel about the present day Gotei 13? If the Hell arc ever does happen, this is the Gotei 13 that will be potentially taking the fight to Hell itself. But that's it for the video, guys. As always, I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below in regards to the current day version of the Gotei 13. What are your thoughts on this lineup? Do you think there was anyone more deserving of perhaps one of the captaincy positions than those that have them here? For me, I'm kind of surprised that Kubo didn't bring Love back to take over the 7th Division, with Iba himself even admitting he's not sure he's worthy of the title, but then we might not have got Atao Rindo, and I'm very intrigued to see what he's capable of. And which division of the current day Gotei 13 is your favourite? As always, make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And I want to end, as we do, by saying a massive thank you and giving a huge shout out to my supporters over on Patreon. I really do appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Your support does mean the absolute world to me, and it really does help as well. And if you like what I do here over on YouTube and you too want to support me that extra step further, you can do just that over on Patreon. You'll get your name in the credits just like this, and you get every single one of my videos absolutely ad-free. Alright guys, well that's it from me. Until next time, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.